Hello. So today on this video, I just want to do something very simple for beginners, and I just want to try and answer the question, in my opinion, if it is a good idea to buy ETH at this $3,200 price range. Okay. Um, so I think that for beginners that this is a question that probably crosses their mind a lot just because of the run up that we've had. Maybe a lot of people, especially who are new to crypto, are going to think that this is a pretty wild run up. And now this choppy price action that we're seeing here on the day chart is something to really start getting worried about. Okay. But in my personal opinion, I still believe that ETH actually is a decent buying opportunity, or there is a decent buying opportunity at this level for Ethereum. Okay. And I'm just going to quickly explain why I believe so as quickly as possible. The first thing is we're even though ETH has gone sideways here, we're still seeing these formations of constant higher lows, which is really positive to see. And not only that, but we're bouncing off the 21-day really well, which is a very good sign for just general bullish action. Okay. The next thing is that although yes, we certainly are getting this very kind of choppy sideways price action here, you can argue that um, as we stay here longer and longer and longer, and more, the buyers come in more at slightly higher and higher levels on this day chart. We're actually simply, from a pure psychological standpoint, right, when you think about it, okay, the buyers are putting a lot more pressure on the sellers at this general price range here, right? And as buyers start buying up the seller's pressure at higher and higher levels, sooner or later the buyers are essentially going to beat out the sellers, and we should see a breakthrough here. Okay. So those are two very basic technical things that I'm seeing on the charts, which suggests that, yeah, it's still a decent time to buy. Often with crypto, especially when you're getting these kind of bull runs, okay, or you're seeing this bullish momentum, it's not just going to go up forever, but what you really do want to see that's much more like positive, that there's more sign for further run up instead of kind of like a blow off top and then coming back down, is sideways consolidation. You need sideways consolidation sometimes, or slight pullbacks. And that's what I feel like we're seeing here. Now, another thing is that a lot of beginners may say, well, why on earth would I buy ETH at this price range when, if, for example, if we're looking at other layer one protocols, uh, or other, projects which are essentially ETH competitors, price has gone ridiculous. Like, should I need, you may be asking yourself, like, shouldn't I get into this, into Cardano? Shouldn't I get into Solana? Which has obviously, both of these projects have seriously outperformed ETH during this period. And even projects like DOT or Binance or BNB have in general outperformed ETH during this period. But one thing that I want you guys to really remember, if you're getting used to, looking at crypto charts and just in general investing in crypto, if you're trying to make money off this bull run, okay, more often than not, you have to understand the concept of how liquidity in a market like crypto will shift between projects. Okay. So for example, when initially we had this big run up here in ETH, you could also argue that the run up in ADA was just not nearly as strong. We were just kind of seeing a lot of sideways price action, right? Then when maybe people start taking profits here, that liquidity or that new money that has been made, in terms of profits, now maybe starts shifting into other projects, whether that's more high risk plays like certain altcoins, or people cash it out, or maybe put it back into Bitcoin, right, into the largest cap, and so forth. So you have to understand that in the crypto market, depending on the size of the project, whether it's Bitcoin, and typically it's like Bitcoin to Ethereum, then to really large altcoins like Cardano, and then mid caps and small caps, or mid-level projects and small level projects, right? Liquidity will shift between these projects, okay, when people start taking profits. So what you really want to do during the bull run is not only just buy the dip, but at the same time buy projects which aren't seeing that really strong bullish run up, but seeing that kind of consolidation, like that kind of like bullish consolidation that we're seeing here on ETH. Okay, because you know already that, at least from an Ethereum standpoint, maybe people once ADA, let's say, hits a certain price point, let's say it could be $3 or 280 or whatever the price target is, where a lot of the buyers start taking profits and selling off, right? That those profits are soon going to have to go somewhere else, and more often than not, they're going to, like, buyers are going to move that money into projects which haven't had that run up there, so they can get that consequential run up. Okay, so maybe they're going to move that back into ETH, or maybe they're going to move it into smaller caps. Okay, my point being is that you don't necessarily want to be buying in at this level here in Cardano. Okay, even though the whole market is bullish. What you really want to be doing, in my opinion, or this is how I personally like to trade or invest, is get into these also consolidation periods here, just because when nobody's looking at that particular project, that's when actually it's the right time to buy. And then when it finally runs off, then more money is going to start coming into it, like more profits from other projects are going to start coming into that particular project, for example, like ETH, and continue to basically prop up the price. That's what you really want to get into. So I still think that the longer that we consolidate here, the better in terms of potentially buying into ETH now. The overall movement in the market, for example, with Bitcoin, is also looking really positive. So, we seem to be getting past this range of resistance here, potentially building some support and going further, breaking past 50K, hopefully in the next few days. If we really see that again, people are going to start sooner or later, once we get to the next key levels of support, maybe around 52 to 53,000 and so forth, then maybe all the way up to, 58 to 60, right? These levels, people are going to start taking profits, and those profits are going to go into projects which have been going sideways or maybe slightly downwards for the period of time, like ETH. Okay. If you don't believe this, just simply look at the charts, right? For example, if we look at Cardano from, let's see, from March to May, most recently, we had a lot of sideways price action, whereas with ETH from March to May, we kind of really had like a, more of a bullish run up, and vice versa, right? You'll find if you just simply look at charts and look at history, you're going to see clear, obvious periods where liquidity has been moving from projects like Bitcoin into ETH and ETH into ADA and so forth, so forth, so forth. It's not just that like everything starts like going to the moon and dumping all at the exact same time necessarily. It doesn't always work like that, especially as you get that kind of increased bullish momentum, right? Of course, when everything capitulates, sometimes it's just going to happen. But typically, you're going to get liquidity shifting as bullish momentum continues, okay? So, long story short, in conclusion, I do think that this is still an interesting time to get into ETH. Um, Past these levels, it may start getting, again, the risk reward, like I've talked about before, may not be there. But for now, I do think that this is potentially a good time, both in the short term and in the much, 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 much longer term, to still buy a position into ETH. Okay. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Consider giving this video a like, and take care, guys.